In the name of my ancestors, peace forever and always, and welcome to another edition of what I call the Reality's Temple on Earth Internet Ministry. I am the gatekeeper or the host of this program. Wherever you wherever tongue-tied, wherever you may find me on social media, YouTube, Facebook, Vimeo, and perhaps many other places, wherever you may find me, talking about me, I am known as the mighty Angel Snub 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm your soul brother. Number 1, Angel Snub 7. Morning. What is it? 10:30 a.m. on a Sunday. And this is church day for a lot of folks. Going to church, 10:30. Sunday school starts around 10:30. Morning, brother, soul brother Don. Church starts, 10:30, 11 o'clock. So all over this country, in every state of the union, all over the world, there are millions and millions of people going to worship this being that has the title of God. They are sort of confused as far as the name of God is concerned. God could be Allah or Yahshua, Yashaya. Some people say Jesus, but Jesus is not God, of course, but Yahweh. They don't really know the exact name of the God, really. They sort of confused, but as long as you are believing in some type of God, it's all right. Now, when you decide to be different, you don't want to be part of the crowd for whatever your reason is, then a lot of folks sort of look down on you. Like, how dare you? How dare you speak, don't believe in God? See, that's the key word. The key word is belief. So if you believe, you really don't know. So God could exist, God could not exist. You are gambling. You really don't know. That's why you must believe. Because if you knew, you could present God to everybody, just like you would present a YouTube video. A YouTube video is perfectly clear. It's a fact. You're watching me on YouTube. That's a fact. Now, there are idiots who will tell you, how do we know this is not another dimension? How do you know this is not another world? As far as our reality is concerned, this is it, baby. This is it. You can't prove this is a dream. You can't prove that this is another dimension. None of the other garbage that you come up with. Because if this was not YouTube and you were dealing with somebody face to face and you got in an argument and they punch you in your face and blood squirt everywhere and you go to the hospital for stitches, you're going to find out it's not another dimension. It's not a dream. You is hurt. So we need to stop being silly. But you don't know. Because if you knew, you wouldn't have to believe. See, but if you knew, then this is the reality that we have to deal with. I'm not saying, and I don't tell people that God don't exist. So don't come to me talk about, how do you know God don't exist? As far as I'm concerned, God does not exist. There could be a person on this planet that their body is a half. I mean, really, y'all talk about biracial people. I'm talking about there could be a person on this planet, half of their body could be Caucasian, half of their body could be black. But until I see it for myself, until we experience ourselves, we really not going to accept that as a fact. You're going to say that's a belief till there's some kind of information, something of real substance that can prove there's a person that's really biracial. Half of their body looks like a black man. Half of their body looks like a Caucasian. I'm not talking about no biracial mix. I'm talking about half and half type of thing. Until then, such a person does not exist. See, that's the thing about belief. I believe there's somebody out here that's like that. You can believe that all you want to, but until it's proven, it don't exist. So it don't make no difference how much you believe in anything until it's proven, until you can react, until you can interact, until it's accessible to your five senses of taste and touch and seeing and feeling and things of this nature, until it gets verification from your senses or by a machine, something that can detect it, because if it can't be detected in no kind of way, it don't exist. Thus, it's not bothering you. So we are going to be questioning God this morning, Don, just for a few minutes. I'm not going to take a long time. How dare you put God on blast? So we begin our talk, and this is becoming the norm. What was it yesterday? A 19-year-old person shot up a synagogue while the Jewish folks was trying to worship, because I believe their Sabbath is on a Saturday. I believe Jewish folks, I think that's their Sabbath, Saturday. And there are still bombs and violence in Sri Lanka, however you pronounce that. I don't know how many people was hurt in the synagogue shooting. This 19-year-old, I think at least one is dead. A 19-year-old person. It's mind-boggling. Why would a 19-year-old person want to shoot up a synagogue? And the biggest question is, since God, that's right, Don, belief is speculation. And then they also bring what the law calls circumstantial evidence to support what they're speculating about. But this 19-year-old young person, why would he want to do something like this? And above all, why isn't God stopping these murders? Now, people come to me, the believers in God, their excuse why God does not have the power to stop these murders is because God wants martyrs. God wants people to die in the faith to show their loyalty to this God. They are martyrs. Most times, people voluntarily do that. These people are not voluntarily seeking to be martyrs. They were just going to the synagogue. They were just going to the mosque, or they're going to church. They are not expecting to be a martyr. Now your Jesus, well, even Jesus was not expecting to be a martyr, because Jesus said, my God, why have you forsaken me? Jesus was not expecting to die on the cross, because there's no need for him to say, why have you forsaken me? You, not me. You are claiming that your God created the heavens and the earth. You're claiming that your God has all this power, but it's never shown. There's no evidence You can show me nothing that supports your claim that this God created the heavens and the earth or anything. This God cannot even protect you while you're worshiping this God in your church. I'm not impressed. I'm just not impressed by that. Well, God don't have to impress you. Good. Stay the hell away from me. You take your weak ass God that has no power, fake stuff, you take that and keep it to yourself. Because you're lying to yourself and you're telling me a lie because there's no evidence to suggest that your God has any kind of power at all, whatsoever. God needs to put on blast. You're making a claim that is false. You put anybody else on blast. If somebody told you they have the power to heal, if somebody told you they can get you a good deal on a car and save you $500 or whatever, you want them to prove what they're talking about. Yeah, I want to buy the car only if you give me $500 off. Can you make that a reality? Now you put that car salesman on blast. You put people who make certain claims that they have the cure for AIDS or whatever. Everybody gets put on blast except God. God makes these claims. Well, actually, God does not make a claim. People say that God can do. Because there's nowhere in the scriptures that I ever... Well, first of all, God did not write nothing. All these religious teachings come from a man that said that God said. This is so in law, this would be hearsay because you never talked to God yourself. So don't come and tell me that lie. Well, in a dream, when I was in a coma, I talked to God. That's not talking to God. You have never met God. You were sold an idea. Matter of fact, many of us was not even sold an idea. It was forced on us at birth. Before I could even walk good, before I could even talk good, they was ramming Jesus down my throat. But you want to know something? The difference between you and me is from the very beginning, even as a child. Yeah, I went on and believed it because that's what I was a child. I was taught this by my parents, my relatives, and general society was shoving this down everybody's throat. But I question it because something about this whole thing don't make any sense. Oh man, how can I forget before I continue? Let me send a shout out to my Facebook. What's up there, Facebook? Glad to see you. Glad to see you. Got to send a shout out because we live on Facebook also here. So let me get my screen back up here the way it was. So we have you have a right to question the salesman, the school teacher, President Trump, but we don't have the right to question these religious teachings. I was told when I was growing up, you don't have the right, you don't question God. Why? When people don't like questions, most of the time they are trying to hide something. What is it you're trying to hide? What is it that you're trying to keep secret? That's right, Don. Don says, saying God created the heavens and the earth is like saying you created a house because you live in it, but that don't mean that you built it. That's right. It's the same thing I always say about saying or making a claim. These Kemetic folks talk about the Egyptians built the pyramids. That's not necessarily true. You really don't know that. Just because somebody live in a house don't mean they built it. Many of us, matter of fact, most of us live in dwellings. We did not build these dwellings. We did not build these shelters, houses, these places where we live in. We did not build them. Somebody else. So just because you live in a house, that don't mean that you built it. I have two questions I want to answer before we leave this morning. Or observation. The first observation is, I have a problem with slavery. Most of you have a problem with slavery, right? Slavery was wrong. Most of us who come to channels like mine, most of us, we are seeking freedom, justice, and equality from ex-slave masters. I'm sorry, I'm going to have to take a little break because when I do subjects like this, these trolls start coming from out of nowhere. So I'm not going to even give them a chance to get started. That's right, Don. Babies are not born loving Jesus or Allah or none of these gods. These gods are not recognized by no babies at all. It's a taught behavior. Somebody told you, taught you, a man, not God, a man taught you about God. Because the reality is, man created God. God is a fiction of imagination created by men. You will never meet this God, just like you will never meet Superman or Batman or any of these other characters that we make up. There's no evidence. You will never meet them personally. But you can believe in Batman, you can believe in Robin and whatever. And that's what this God thing is about. God is like a superhero. Prior to Superman, Batman, you had superheroes like Hercules and Thor. Ancient people created superheroes. I would assume Jesus is the greatest superhero of them all. Walking on water, raising the dead. Woo! Superhero. But this is my thing. Number one of my observation here, going back to slavery. So we are against slavery, right? Right? Okay. Well, some of y'all might like slavery. You just don't want to be the slave. But many of you are against slavery. Now, this is the contradictory thing about it. I'm not going to put it here because I don't do a whole lot of Googling, and I don't brag about my research and my information and all the books I read. Do a simple Google search and you can see how contradictory your Bible is, and even Quran, that these books actually support slavery. Just do a Google search, slavery and the Holy Bible, slavery and the Quran, and you will see all the passages in reference where these books actually support oppression, actually support slavery. And of course, you have your excuses, and you will ignore those things because that's what many of you do. You pick and choose. You like this from the Bible, you like this from the Quran. When somebody point this out to you, you just ignore it. Well, I don't know, you just ignore it. Now look, so back to slavery. You claim you don't like slavery, even though the Bible and the Quran, both of them actually support slavery and other abuse of women and children and such and such. But look, so the problem with slavery is a slave exists solely for the benefit of his or her master. There is no benefit to the slave. There was no benefit for our ancestors. There was no benefit coming from the master to our ancestors who were in physical bondage. There is no benefit to all of you who own a dog and a cat and a goldfish and a snake and a chameleon, whatever animal poor animal you got locked up in your house. There's no benefit to that dog or that cat that's locked up in your house. There's no benefit for them at all. For you, you get to pet the animal, tell the animal what to do, make the dog do tricks, and the animal keeps you company. Whatever your reason to be a slave master over this animal, that's what you do. Now, it's the same thing with this God thing. That's why I'm against slavery. That's why I can't get with your God thing, because it's the same thing. In fact, I would even say that this religious teaching is the foundation for slavery. That's where it comes from, because you have a high being that wants me to serve it, him, she, it, whatever this God's supposed to be. What's the benefit? What's the benefit for me to serve this God? There is none at all, period. Worship and serve this God. This God is a slave owner and I'm a slave. It's the same thing. Well, see this, now, there are those who can understand this is how it sounds. No, that's not how it sounds. Like God is the slave owner and you are the slave, because you say that we must serve God and we must worship God. And there's no benefit for you at all. So that makes you a slave. Now, they say, well, see, God is good. There were slaves, and there are people who have been abused. There were slaves that actually reported and talk about, my massa good. My massa good. And there are people who have been abused and exploited, and they would say that that person is still a good person. Yeah, they beat me up every day, verbally abusing me. Excuse me, every time I take this break, I gotta get rid of a troll. Verbally abusing me. Don't have to worry about trolls on Facebook, I don't think. I guess you do. I'm not really sure. But a good massa. So because you have a good abuser, because you have a good massa, does that make slavery good? No. There are those who know that Africans also practice slavery, but their slavery was different. You know, how is slavery? Because their slavery wasn't like the white man's slavery. So it's better. It's better for you and me to be under that kind of slavery, because they treated you like family. Even in certain instances among Arab and European slavery, some of the slaves was treated like part of the family. You know, just like you treat your dog and your cat. You know, your cat is part of the family. Your dog is part of the family. Is that how you treat family members? When you go home, when you go to work, you lock your family member in a house, and if the house catch on fire, they can't get out and they burn to death. What kind of family, what kind of relative are you? What kind of love is that? You know, if something happened to you, they starve to death. You know, they can't control. They want to eat now. They eat when you feel. You treat an animal like they living in prison. You control their food, tell them when to get up, how to eat, all that kind of good stuff, and that's supposed to be good. Y'all think that's good. It's slavery, it's slavery, it's slavery. And you wonder why the whole world of humanity is in a slave-like condition, because the backbone and the foundation, y'all except slavery. Whether it's outright physical slavery or these other forms of slavery. Slavery by some God, some being. Because this God being is stronger than me, smarter than me, or whatever, then that means I'm supposed to worship and serve it and be this slave. No, 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 no. If you want to do that, so be it. I can't get down like that. Enjoy yourself. I can't do it. And then the difference between this God and the slave owners of our ancestors is these Peckerwoods would fight for their slaves. They're not going to allow harm coming to their slaves. They would defend their slaves. This God, matter of fact, there was a civil war. I want my slave. There was a civil war over that. They died over their slaves. This God will not protect you at all, period, whatsoever. Your excuse is martyrdom. I'm going to be a martyr. How many, look, you have to understand this too, and you already do. It's been thousands and thousands of years. How many martyrs do you want? How many people have to die? This happens over and over again. Why don't your God show that I got power? I can stop a few bullets. I can stop you from being lynched. I can stop you from having your throat slit. Show, won't this God at some point after thousands of years show I got some power? You're good in believing in me. Nothing. Nothing for thousands of years. Oh, the world gonna end, the judgment, the revelation. You've been saying that for thousands of years. None of your stuff is happening at all. What the Bible, the stuff in the Bible is coming true. It's been coming true for thousands of years. And when you die, the next generation, the revelation coming, Armageddon, same stuff for thousands of years. Really. But if you want to be a slave, that's your business. Don't come to me and try to talk me into being part. I'm trying to get off the plantation. I'm not trying to get on nobody's plantation. I don't care if it's a god or a spook or a demon or whatever. I'm getting off the plantation. I'm not trying to voluntarily get on a plantation. You voluntarily want to be a slave. That's your business. I come from a people that have been mistreated, enslaved for over 300 years. I'm done with slavery. You want to continue to be a slave because it feels good or whatever your reasoning is, because that God, that slave owner, he a good master. Well, you go with your good master. I don't want a master at all. And you know your God, your God is sort of funny acting, because your God says, I'm a jealous God. What? This, that's just so mind-boggling to me. Here you are, God. You can create the heavens and the earth. You created me. You created the stars. You do all this. What is it? What can somebody do to make you jealous? Are you serious, God? What can anybody do? Somebody that has all this power, what can this person be jealous of? It's just amazing to me. If God was a human being, you would not like this God, because this person is arrogant. This person is a bully, running around making threats. If you don't do what I say, I'm going to send you to hell forever. Using fear, just like the slave master. The slave master would take another slave and beat that slave in front of the rest of the slaves to make them full of fear. And so in religion, they teach you about going to hell, you're going to burn forever and be punished forever and things of this nature. Just like the slave master, they use fear. And you think this is a good thing. You think this is a good God. This God don't sound good to me. This God sound like a slave owner. Making threats, a bully, jealous of folks. You gonna tell somebody, show your loyalty to me. What you want me to do? I want you to take your son and sacrifice your son on the altar to show your loyalty to me. What? Are you serious? Oh, wow. Are you for real serious? And y'all don't have a problem with that? So everybody can be put on blast, but God can't be put on blast. Are you serious? I want to make this point. Hey there, soul sister Zena. That's right. Zena says the most effective form of control of people is through fear. Still works very well, unfortunately. She agrees with everything I'm saying. Thank you, Zena. It's fear. Getting you scared. That's how many of y'all control your children. You use the fear of punishment. I'm going to beat you when we get home. You're going to do something to them. Fear. Do you think if you did not use fear, those children would behave? Now, if you're a smart parent and you have a little wisdom, sometimes you can, but see, that takes a lot of time in order to talk to children like they have sense. You would rather say, sit your ass down and take off a belt. Use fear. Like some of y'all dog at home. Sometimes your dog get out of control. You slap the dog on his muzzle. You kick the dog. You use fear for control. You use fear. See, it's about fear. You're going to go to hell forever. You're going to be tormented in hell forever. Fear. Because who in their right mind would want to go to some kind of place and you burn forever? I don't know how that's going to happen. I don't know no place that burns forever. And if you are a spirit, fire cannot hurt you. Fire cannot hurt a spirit. Fire is physical. The spirit is not. So I don't know how you're going to burn forever. You can't even feel it. The whole thing, the whole thing don't make sense, y'all. But see, no, that's right, Don. Nobody has come from heaven. Nobody has come from hell to tell us nothing. Now, there are people who make claims, but they never died. They was in a comatose situation. Something was wrong. They never actually died and went nowhere. So that in their imagination, because of these teachings and how we've been programmed, we drift off into these worlds when we are unconscious. And our brain makes these things up for us. That's the bottom line. Oh, I actually went to heaven. I actually went to hell. That's what you believe. So if you went there, what did you bring back? When the Peckerwoods say they went to the moon, which they did not. They didn't. Because once people start going somewhere, they don't stop. When they started coming to North America from Europe, they did not stop. They visited a few minutes, went back to Europe, and kept coming back here until they took this land from the native people. So if these suckers really went to the moon, they would still be going back and forth to the moon. They never went. That's a lie. We love to hear these fantastic feel-good lies. It's a lie. The best thing they can do is go up the space station crap. That's the best they could do. Yeah, that whole moon thing is a hoax. It's a damn lie. There's no real evidence. There's no evidence that they went to the moon. There is no evidence. But even this go to the moon lie, they pretend they bring back some moon rocks and some moon dust. They went to the moon, and at least they pretend to bring something back. You mean to tell me you went to heaven, you went to hell, but you don't bring no pictures? Did you? Hey, look, the next time, the next time y'all go to heaven or hell, take your iPhone, take some pictures, bring back some hell dust, some hell rocks or something, because I want to see what the hell is burning in hell that it can burn forever. I want to see what is this material. Let us scientifically check this stuff out, because it can burn forever. That's a hellified thing. But look, I don't mean to laugh. I'm for real. It's yeah, take a picture with the devil. Take a picture with Lucifer. You know, take a picture with God. Since you went to heaven, take a picture with God so we can see this stuff. Cause look, seeing is believing. And don't take no fake pictures, because you know we have experts. They're gonna examine those pictures to make sure they're not Photoshopped. What's up there, Rowan? It's just amazing to me. Now, my last observation that I want to make before we call it a day, and I guess the trolls decided to give up, because I'm blocking them. As soon as they get here, I block them off. So it's not going to be, they can dislike the video. And why don't y'all subscribe while you're at it, trolls? I need some subscribers. Don't come here just to troll and harass people. And see, that's another thing. How can you claim to be a believer in God? You're a lover of peace, and you are a lover of love, and you love everybody. Then you come to videos like mine, and you nasty, and you profane, and you disgusting. See how fake y'all are? There's a lot of fake believers in God. But then also at the same time, your God is jealous. Your God gets real angry. Your God have these temper tantrums. What? Sodom and Gomorrah? Because those people wouldn't do what this God want them to do. He decided, I'm going to burn down the whole city. Damn, that God got an anger management problem. Really, that God has a true anger management problem. I just, again, I just can't get with it. But I want to make this last observation. Matter of fact, one of the trolls wrote this, and I hid the comment. Probably so. Who knows? Who knows, Roman? Who knows where these trolls coming from? But one of the trolls actually made this comment. If you don't believe in God, why you talk about it so much? I don't have the right. Okay, see, it don't make any sense, because if you don't like President Trump, why are you talking about President Trump? If you don't like Michael Jackson, why are you talking about Michael Jackson? Everybody do that every day. They talk about stuff they don't like. Things they don't believe in every day. No, what it is, you don't want opposition to your belief system, so you can continue to spread your feel-good stuff that don't do nothing for you It's not going to do nothing for nobody. You want no opposition to what you're talking about. That's what you really want. They're going to tell me I don't have the right to talk about or put God on blast, but now they have the right to brainwash little children. Look, these believers in God have the right before you can even walk, before you can even talk. Believers in God have the right to fill little babies' minds with all this stuff about some God. They have the right to do that. Before you can even talk, before you can even walk, they're teaching you about this God thing. That's a belief. A belief. And see, they did not tell me when I was little, they did not tell me God was a belief. They taught me like God was real. They did not say nothing about belief. So you have all these children, this belief is being forced on them. They are children. They are not in a position to say yes or no. They are not mature in the mind enough to listen to the information and decide whether or not they will accept it. You force this on children. That's child abuse. That's child abuse. And really, there should be a law against teaching children religion until they turn 18. At least 13. Somewhere where these children are old enough where they can discern and try to figure this stuff that y'all teaching out. It should be child abuse. That's what it says. Well, what created all this? Something had to create all this. Who cares? It reminds me of the eagle in the nest. When the eagle grows up in the nest, it's time for that eagle to leave. It's time for that eagle to fly. Now, either that eagle is going to fly or that eagle is going to fall to the ground and probably get injured and probably get ate up by something or die on the ground somewhere. The eagle does not care who created the sun, who created the earth, or who created its parents. The only thing the eagle is concerned about is, I'm here, I'm going to live, or I'm going to die. That's all I care about. Either I'm going to live or I'm going to die. Look, it's nice. It's nice to know if you can find out for real where things come from. That's good. It's nice to know how a tree grows. It's nice to know about the rocks and the water. Knowledge is good, but not when that knowledge is a damn lie, made up stuff. This Bible, Quran, religious stuff is all made up fictional stuff, just like kryptonite. There's no such rock as kryptonite. There's no such person in reality called Superman. It's fiction. It's not real. If your God was real, why would not your God stop a bullet so that you wouldn't get hurt? Now, I don't believe. But see, even just because I don't believe, why would God want me to get shot? Anybody with any kind of love for humanity, if you have the power, you will stop evil, like Superman, like Batman, like the Flash. You will stop evil because you have the power. But if you don't have the power, there's nothing that you can do. Or you don't exist. So it's either one or the other. Either God don't exist or God has no power. Take your pick. But you don't want somebody like me to speak my mind and bring these issues up because you want to be unopposed, telling these children your fabricated stories and you really your outright lies. These lies. And you have a group of people, these pastors and these preachers who make a living filling your minds up with all this stuff. And most of them, I'm going to tell you, and most of these preachers and pastors and stuff, they don't believe in no God. It's just a, whoo, I'm going to say this and I'm going to be out of here. There was a pastor, Reverend, what was his name? Reverend James Cleveland. He's a gospel singer. He's deceased now. I think his name, Reverend James Cleveland, gospel singer, famous gospel singer. And somebody interviewed him one time. I remember. I don't know what the source is, so don't tell me the source. Maybe y'all can look it up, but this is what I was told. This is what I was told, okay? Somebody was interviewing this singer, this gospel singer. Gospel music is for those who believe in God, religious music. They asked Reverend James Cleveland, was he a Christian or whatever? You know, did he believe in God? And the man really told the truth. He said, no, this is how I make my living. People like gospel music. It's a product that I produce, and that's what I sell. He did not claim to be a Christian. And that's what a lot of these other folks do. They in it for the money. Look at all the money tax-free the Catholic Church get, the mosque get, these churches get. All this money is tax-free. And these reverends and these preachers, they control all this money. It's tax-free, y'all. It's a business. It's a scam. It's a scam. It's about money. The bottom line is, and look, I want to say this also. This is not to say that many of you are not sincere. I know that you're sincere. I know that you are. And believe me, I have nothing against you. But if you have the right to believe and spread the gospel, I have the right also to be the opposite. What you scared of? You shouldn't have a problem with it unless you know that there's something wrong and you don't want people to be on their guard when you come with these stories that is contradictory. But like I say, religion is contradictory, and you have people who pick and choose what they believe and what they don't believe. There are a lot of people. Now, it's very clear. It's very clear in the book of Leviticus, the dietary laws of God, so you say. But then many Christians would tell you that they eat pork and they eat shrimps and other stuff that's different, that's against Leviticus. But then they say because of the New Testament, Jesus made it where you can eat anything that you want to. You don't have to worry about the laws of Moses and Leviticus. Where did Jesus say that? Where in the New Testament where it says that you can just ignore what the prophets of God prior to me, what they said? Where do it say that at? I'm just curious because I don't know. Where does it say that at? You pick and choose. No, you like pork, you like ham, you like bacon, you like shrimps, you like lobsters, you like the unclean stuff that they talk about in Leviticus, you like it. So now you're using Jesus as an excuse to ignore Moses. But Moses is a prophet of God. And again, you don't show nowhere in the New Testament where Jesus said, look, I'm bringing y'all something new. Matt, look, woo, I'm going to say this and I'm going to get out of here. If that's the case, woo, if that's the case, you need to ignore the Old Testament, period. But you always quoting from the Old Testament, and the Old Testament, Moses did this and Noah and what. If that's the case, you need to ignore the Old Testament, period. Since Jesus brought in something new, you don't need the Old Testament. And then why do you have a New Testament? Most people, when they bring in something new, they don't deal with the old no more. I drive a new car and you get rid of your old car. You know, when a sandwich has expired, you get rid of that, make you a new sandwich. The things, how y'all roll and how you think, whatever, don't make any sense to me. And that's another thing. It just don't make sense. And if it don't make sense to me, if it don't sound logical, if it don't pass the criteria of common sense, logic, and reason, I can't get with it. I just cannot get with it. It's not real. It's just not real. Out with the old, in with the new. This ministry is the new. You need to get here, need to get your mind right. Get out of them slave-ass teaching. It's all slave teaching. The Quran, the Bible, the Nation of Islam, Kemetic, Hebrew, all of it is slave teachings. All of it is. None of it. You've had it. I can easily prove it. You've had all this stuff for a long, long time. Are you free? Only in your mind. And you're not even free in your mind because you are enslaved to your belief. You can't escape slavery. You are enslaved to another human being or some supernatural being. You are enslaved to your belief system. You just can't get away from being a damn slave. I can't get with it. If that's how you want to roll and be a slave, that's your business. You want to roll with somebody, making all these claims that this God has all this power and control the weather and do all this stuff, but this supernatural power cannot stop a bullet, cannot stop a grenade launcher, can't stop a tank, can't protect you from your enemies. What's the sense of worshiping God? Oh, you're going to die. You got to die. And then that's where you're going to get your reward. And there's no proof that there's another life. Belief. Even so, you have the right to try to live. You have the right to protect yourself against bullets and bazookas and grenades and tanks or whatever. If my friend is God, I shouldn't have a worry in the world, but y'all do. You're not even safe in the houses of religion. That's a dang shame. That's a dang shame. With that said, that's my Sunday morning sermon. That's our Sunday morning talk. And y'all have a nice day, nice morning, a nice Sunday. I probably spoiled it for some folks. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to see that. Stop talking. Stop talking. I don't mean to spoil your day. I don't mean to spoil your Sunday. But you claim that you represent truth and you want to hear the truth. But when the real truth, reality comes to your house, you don't want that knocking at your door. But I'm not here to talk to you. I'm here to talk to those before they get caught up in this kind of stuff. I wish this was not forced on me as a child. I wish it was not. I did not ask for it. I'm not a hypocrite. I'm not a hypocrite because I was forced to believe. This was not something of my choice. So don't call me a hypocrite about nothing. Plus learn what a hypocrite is. A hypocrite is somebody pretending to be something they are not. That's a hypocrite. When y'all speak, it's basically you talking about a disbeliever. I'm a disbeliever, but I'm not a hypocrite because I've never pretended to be something I'm not. So on that note, let me get out of here. You enjoy your Sunday. Thank you, everybody in the chat room for joining me. Rowan, Don, Soul Sister Zena, Facebook, and for all those, even the trolls. Thank you, trolls. Please subscribe. Don't be like that. Subscribe to the channel. So when I come live, you will know, and you can join the conversation. Also, what they always say, subscribe and stop being a hater. Like the video. You don't have to like what I say, but I'm pretty sure I'm a cool guy. You know, you believe in God, you love everybody. How can you love everybody and dislike my video? That means you don't like me. These folks be tripping me out. Okay, so enjoy the rest of your day. Until next time, as Dr. Cornelius always told us, until next time, I wish us love, peace, and so, brother number one.